Hi everyone, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. How are you doing? Long time no see. It's like hours and hours and hours and hours ago since I last hung out with you guys. So but I am so happy. I know it's kind of late for some of our squatters in the UK, Europe, and stuff. So maybe they'll catch up with this hopefully tomorrow. But I am just so excited. It's what a day this has been. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys have had a fantastic day. I'm assuming you have all, a lot of you have been on Barrett and Duchess of Success, and and I just love it. Y'all such troopers to come and hang out with another podcast. So I am just grateful how many of us are here. I'm always, of the mind like, oh gosh, people have other things to do. They don't have time to be coming to hang out on a podcast. But I am just happy you guys are here. And as you know, this is a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, obviously. They are our faves. We are biased. We are petty. You know this. So don't come after them or come after us. We already told you who we are. And we are here only for, Harry, Meghan, Big Boy Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola, Guy, the chickens, the Invictus community, all of us here, wonderful community at Sussex Squad. So welcome, guys. See a lot of my peeps are in the chat already. I know I see Lydia is here, our awesome great aunt Lydia, who is celebrating the birth of her nephew or nephew. So we're all celebrating that with Lydia. And let's see, Dory is here, Kanitha. Wait a minute, Kanitha, isn't this late for you? I think you're in the UK, aren't you? But I'm happy you're here. Let's see who else is here. Elaine is here. Hey, Elaine, same for you, Elaine. Sorry, this is a late one. After the doing the premiere earlier today, I had stuff to do, so that's why it's so late in the evenings when I could do this. Let's see, Dolores is also here. Patricia, Joyce, V. Thomas, hey guys, Hawkeye Helen, Karen Williams, Ma Jones, Vanessa, Ray Raquel, Black Queen, hello guys, Sarah T. Evelyn CK. Hi guys, and 78 of our friends who are may not be in the chat at the second, but happy you guys are all here. And again, what an incredible day it's been. Our girl, her podcast, I'm telling you. We no longer have to be like, oh, can patience be somebody else's virtue? I don't want to be patient anymore. We just have it with no more, is summer here yet? I was very, very, whenever Spotify would post something, I'm like, I know. Can we just have Archetypes, please? I know the promo by heart now. Can we just have the episodes? And so what an incredible day it has been, just listening to Fave and girl Serena. And and so I just kind of wanted to hear from you guys. I'm sure you probably talked a lot about this today, but you didn't talk about it with me. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you guys thought about it, how many times you've listened to it, all the stuff that whatever you got out of it, whether it's from Meghan, whether it's from Serena. We know a couple of the hot button topics in there about baby Archie. I was like, oh my gosh, that was shocking. And I'm telling you, the Lord is with our faves. The hand of the Lord, the ancestors, talk about every which way, protecting our faves. It's just like, what else could go wrong? And it just, he has brought them through, talk about, there's that scripture that talks about, when I go through the valley of the shadow of death, you are with me. And that scripture just kind of came to my mind. It's like, boy, there have been some valleys these two have gone through. And thank the Lord, he was walking right there with them, covering them under his wings and protecting them and getting them onto the other side of the pond into Montecito. And so, our prayer that he continues to protect them there, as they continue to share and do the incredible work that they've been doing out there in California, actually globally. What am I talking about? They're global. They're all over the place. Supporting charities and supporting people in need in so many ways. And so I'm gonna put the I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So I would love to hear you guys call in. Don't leave me hanging, please. I want to hear from you. So the link is now in the chat. So please call in and share what you're taking, what you got out of it. Give me your 2 cents. You got 2 minutes to share your 2 cents, and you can, so yeah. Oh, Compton Caligal says, in America, TMZ just reported the story of the fire in Archie's nursery on TV. Yeah, it just, that was very like, oh my word. And so, yeah, and I just, it's so funny. It's just such a little snippet about Archie's nanny. She just looked like such a lovely lady. And I love when Meghan said that she would wrap and she would carry Archie in the mud cloth. I didn't even know that was the name of it. But then, that's where you tie the baby in the back. And they look so comfy. And apparently the babies fall asleep like that. The best way to get them to fall asleep is carrying them like that. Who knew? I don't have babies, so there you go. And but let's see. Hawkeye Helen says, absolutely enjoyed the conversation with Meghan and Serena. Two very strong women. Yes, scary regarding the fire in Archie's room. Thank God for a loving nanny taking him with her. I'm telling you, that is the hand of the Lord. Just speaking in her ears. Just take Archie with you. I'm telling you. You see stuff like that and you're like, thank you, Lord. The prayer of saints have been heard. How many in the squads have been praying for them? And, there's a scripture that says, the prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. And I have to believe that those prayers have been heard and those angels dispatched to protect baby Archie and his mama and papa. And so I am just very grateful for that. Joy says assuming you mean Australia press, know everything that happened, even lies they tell, but they didn't know about the fire and or they just didn't report it for how it would look amongst the family. Yeah, it's very interesting with that, just the news of that fire. And I think I have to believe the press knows about it. I have to believe that they know. However, I mean, those, especially with heaters, is one of those things. I am very, in New York, obviously, we're when it gets cold, it gets very cold here. And one of the things I'm very, 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 very particular about is heaters, especially space heaters. I don't know what kind of heater they had in the place, but space heaters are notorious. And so I am very much like, I don't use one for that very reason. And I am like, I would not even walk out of, if I'm using it in my room or something. I mean, in my old place, we had one, and was one of those fancy ones. But even with that, I would not walk out of my room and leave that thing on. I would not go to sleep and leave it on. It was just like, I was so like as a hawk watching that thing, because it's very scary. So I'm always very, especially with space heater things. And again, I don't know what type of heater they have, but those things happen. A lot of homes in New York and stuff get burnt down and stuff because of heaters. So it could be, could have been an electrical thing. One of the things I've learned that from actually one of our squatties here is I didn't realize some parts of Africa got really cold in the evenings. So again, so it could have gotten, even when did they go? I think they went September. So and it was this time, was what, a couple of weeks ago, she let me know where she was, that it got cold in the evening. So who knows? It could have been a situation like that. And where it got cooler, and she was, what, 4 months at the time. So who knows what all the things are, but I am just happy that they are safe, and that the hand of the Lord was there and protecting them. So yeah. Joy says, zero smoke detectors either. Yeah. Just, that was like, yes. Sometimes, we could get a little bit lax, or heaters detectors might be there, and batteries run down and just weren't replaced. You see stuff like this all the time. It's amazing that, yeah. And a lot of buildings and homes get damaged because of stuff like this. So, yeah. Let's see. So today is going to be really just about, we're just going to be with you guys chatting. Yeah, it's going to be all about you, all about your conversations. And, again, the link is in the chat. So please call in and chat and share with us what you got out of it. Michael Miller. Hello, Michael. Michael says, and am I the only one who holds that Princess Meghan, I and Mariah Carey talk about what it's like to have one black parent and one white parent, not only them as women, but their children. That would be really cool. I'm assuming, because Mariah Carey is definitely, she's biracial as well. And so I would assume that would be part of that conversation. I am so excited about this because Mariah Carey is amazing. And it's so funny. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read the blog that I wrote on Sunday, but it's so wild that Mariah is going to be on her next episode. But I wrote about Mariah Carey, and Mariah Carey's meeting Princess Diana at a party. I think they were in New York or something, when she met Princess Diana, and she talked about how her and Diana were like cornered animals in couture, and she could see the deadness in Princess Diana's eyes, like someone who has, whose privacy has been invaded upon, and she's in this place. And so one of the things that Mariah Carey had said, and this was in her book, I think it was called The Meaning of Mariah Carey. And in her book, she was saying that she really wished that Princess Diana had lived long enough to to this time like now, where there's social media, where her fans and her supporters could could beat back the press, could really that to beat back the press and all the trolls and stuff who were coming at Princess Diana. She really wished, basically she wished she had a Sussex squad. So part of the blog that I wrote on Sunday was about that. And I always remembered when I heard Mariah, she was doing an interview once, when I heard her talk about that. And then and she was talking about the book, and she was talking about just her wishing Princess Diana was alive, to now where she had social media and she could see her, her fans could be there fighting back the nasty press and supporting her. Her thing was that she just, she would have been so much less lonely if she knew how many people loved her and, were supporting her and fighting for her. So yeah, I feel the same. I wish she had a Sussex squad fighting for her. And that was part of my blog. It's just like I was thinking, what it would be like, what if I would say meet Princess Diana, what would I say to her? And this was part of what I wanted to say to her. Tell her about what the squad is doing for her name, and and also for her son and his family. And so so I hope you guys got a chance to read it, not just big plugging my plugging my blog, but why not, right? So but thank you so much, Michael. I totally see that they can be talking about being biracial and what that means, and all the ways that it's just such there's so much misunderstanding. And it's like you're not white enough in one area, and you're not black enough in one area, and you're sort of that in between space. And it's just like, well, where do I fit in? when I don't feel part of either world, or or not, I don't feel fully accepted in either world. And so it would be very interesting, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So thank you. Oh, we have Ray Raquel on. Ray Raquel, turn your mic on. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Pedal. It's so good to hear you. Thank you for being here. I thought that we were done for the day, so I'm so happy that you came on.
Well, I had a premiere earlier today, and I had said, because when I recorded it late last night, the Meghan's podcast didn't drop, so I didn't know. So I was just like, well, I'm gonna do another one later today just to hear what you guys have to say and what you thought about it. So
Yeah, I love that. I always love hearing you and hearing from you. And hi, Squatties. Hi, Squatty family. I just wanted to say hello, and I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. Um, I just wanted to share really quick. I've probably listened to it like 4 times, maybe even 5. I'm just gonna be honest. It's probably like 5. That's the only thing I'll admit to.
Okay.
So, I was thinking about something that they said. I mean, there's so much that was said, right? And my mom was texting me saying, yeah, oh my gosh, this sounds just like your job.
Wow.
When you have to experience where you're experiencing things other people don't. And something that she said, that people think because you appear strong, because you appear like nothing's going to bother you, that they can just continue to throw things at you.
Right.
I'm just summarizing my own words. That's what I heard them say. And it made me think about when Charles had compared Princess Meghan to tungsten. I think
yes.
and people don't realize, like they said, there's when Serena, her Olympia had injured her or had like a little bruise on her arm or whatever happened with that, and she still had to go out and play the next day and get through that. But nobody knew, right? Or the fire, and nobody knew what they were going through. And they think that just because they're smiling, just because that, oh, you're so strong, you can take anything. That is not true, right?
Right.
So I'm so glad that she's saying that, because I know many people that are listening, a lot of the squad family. I mean, we could probably be here all day with people sharing moments in their life where somebody thought that, oh, I could just keep throwing things at you, or you should have known I didn't mean anything by hurting you.
Right.
And like, you're just supposed to wash it off. And yes, they are strong, but they shouldn't have to be. Like, they should be treated just like everyone else. So that was profound to me. I remember when I first heard about the fire, I was like, this, what? This sounds like a little bit suspect, and it really concerns me, and it makes me angry. I think somebody said earlier, I'm not sure who it was, which speaker said it, but on another podcast, that that it just makes you upset to think that, was this deliberate or not. So I mean, it's just so profound. But the thing I love about Meghan is she always turns things around positive, or a learning lesson, to be able to learn from it, to be able to grow from it, right? So yeah. And I learn a lot on these podcasts, and there's so many smart. I mean, these squatties are so smart.
I know, right?
I just feel like I'm going to
very,
school
very
here.
intelligent community. Yep.
Yeah, so I just thought I would jump on really quick and say that, and then also say that I love you, Pedal.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Raquel. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. You're
Thank
so
you.
encouraging all the time.
Have a blessed afternoon. It's only 5 o'clock here. I know there's probably late night
Okay. You're in
people,
California.
but
Okay. Or at least on the West Coast. So, okay,
yeah.
good.
You guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. Oh, thank you. Um, oh my goodness. It just, it's just thinking again as you talk about that fire, it's very suspect. And then, again, But it's just, I mean, anything could have been the cause of it, but it is just so jarring. It's just like, oh my gosh, we almost lost our baby, and of course I think of Archie as ours, but Megan is like, but it's my child. And we're like, but, he's ours, but uh Compton Caligal. Hey, it's so funny, Compton Caligal. I love how Meghan and Serena addressed being from Compton, at least Serena being from Compton. I love how they just addressed that and dismantled it, and I mean, talk about how genius. I saw someone on Twitter say, how genius it is that Meghan is doing a show about archetypes, about all these names, because people have called her all these names and she can pick all of them and dismantle them. And I love it so much. So Compton Caligal, who lives with she says 6 blocks from where Serena and Venus used to play, says, I am happy Prince Harry hightailed it out of there with his families. I am too. Now it makes so much, people were like, Harry and Meghan had such a great South African tour, which they did. The tour was fantastic. And then they sued everyone. Well, not everyone, but then they filed a lawsuit, and it was just like all the air from the press just sort of went out, and now it's kind of like there's these things you're seeing that were under the surface there, and you're like, oh my goodness. So I'm sure the press has been hiding it. I am very much sure that this isn't news to them, because had this gotten out, it wouldn't quite look good for the royal family, the people who prep this tour, or put them up, whatever. So I'm sure somebody knew about this and just didn't say anything. But I'm glad, as I was listening to the podcast, one of the things I'm just so happy about is that Meghan has her voice. She can speak. She can correct all, a lot of the false narrative. She can tear it down. She can do whatever she wants. And as Ray Raquel says, she always turns some stuff around into such a positive way. And one of the things, even with the fire stuff, she didn't blame anybody. She just said what was the deal. And she's not pointing fingers or anything like that. And I just love it. And I love this. Joy says, Meghan will slow take apart the UK press and their allies, although those so-called books that have misinformation, it will end up with Harry's memoir, although taking them also taking them apart. It just, I love this. I love she has 12 episodes, and I can see on each episodes another lie or another misinformation or whatever being torn apart. And those on Shutter Island would be throwing a fit, as they always do, falling off a cliff as they always do. So none of us would be shocked by any of those things. Therese 1001 says, hi Therese, how are you? Our awesome 2 Cent Screw member. Therese says, I wish Diana had a squad too. When she started dating Dodi, I had a bad feeling that it wouldn't end well. Couldn't see the British royal family allowing the second in line to the throne being raised by an Egyptian. And, Diana had she foresaw that's they would be doing stuff with her car. She, she's like, she had a premonition or whatever, or she just, from the way they, especially those men in gray operate, she knew they would do something. And so it's just eerie. It is absolutely eerie, what has happened. And, that in South Africa, Prince Harry was like, I always go back to when he says, if only you knew what I knew, or something like that. He said, it's just, imagine the things that they have not told us yet. Imagine the things that are there that were done to them that haven't come out yet. So it would be interesting. No wonder they are so terrified of Harry's memoir, which, honestly, I don't think Harry would, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what Harry's going to put in there, how much he's going to put in there. But that is the reason they are so terrified, because they know what they've done. And if you didn't do anything, and if you have treated them with love and respect and kindness, then you would have nothing to worry about. You wouldn't be panicking. So there you go. And Tashmak is thanking Ray Raquel. Thank you, Ray Raquel. That was my same feeling when they tried to make Meghan that to give Meghan that nickname. Yeah, that tungsten. I've always hated that myself, so I totally agree with Ray Raquel as well. It's like saying she's tough enough to take whatever daggers we throw at her. Yeah, she doesn't have any feelings, so we can just slam her with things. Look, and that's a lot of times that's how they treat Black and people of color. Like we're not human, so yeah, that tungsten thing is like, oh no, 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 no. So yeah, Hildy is fed. Hildy's like, oh my gosh, OMG, what a day. We've been fed today, squaddies. We sure have. We sure have been fed, Hildy. Oh, living in the triangle lit says, good evening, Pedal and Squatty. So excited and inspired by archetypes. So Lit, tell us what inspires you, please. Please feel free to call in. Again, the chat, the link is in the chat, so please call in and tell us what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Compton Caligal says, yes, the strong Black women telling the truth. And I absolutely love it. I also love that they, just that, Serena talking about, the fear. Because so many times these like ambitious people, you're a go-getter. If you look at Serena's life, she's a go-getter. She, as she evolved away from tennis and really focus on Serena Ventures and stuff like that, she talks about just a lot of fear, even fear of being on the court when especially that match with Jennifer Capriati when they were calling balls that are clearly in out. I mean, she got so afraid to hit the ball, and so when you're in the situations, like courage and all that stuff isn't the absence of fear. It's like doing stuff in spite of how terrified you are. I could imagine, Harry, I think it was in the Me You Can See, he talks about, their move away from the UK and its council. It was really, really scary. And it was a good thing they had each other. He talked about that. So when, acting in those situations doesn't mean there's no fear. There's, you acted in spite of the fear. So yeah. Yes, Elaine, I'm so happy. Meghan is not silenced any longer. Yep, Meghan can speak. She is part now. She is out there with her thing, and and I love it. Which it's not gonna stop the British press from doing the mess that they always do. But I would think they would speak with a little more caution now because they know that Meghan could dismantle it. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Also, that, Harry may also have a podcast coming out. I'm assuming that would be mostly about mental health. But that's what my thinking is. But I love the fact that they know that they cannot drive the narrative against Harry and Meghan. They have a voice and they will just dismantle their lives. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I love us being able to jump behind Meghan and be like, yep, we're here to hold up your hand, sister. Oh, hold up those arms. Welcome to the podcast world. I love it. Let's see. Tashmak says, I love how Meghan addressed the fire issue by pointing out how the focus seems to ignore the emotional and human aspect of what happened. The royal families is about image and not about caring for others. Yeah, exactly. That stiff upper lip thing is exactly this. Thank you. That's such a great point, Tashmak. They definitely do ignore the emotional aspect of it. Situations like that is where it's like, no, forget about duty for a bit. Let's just focus on the fact that this was a terrifying incident, and let's make sure the parents and the baby are doing well and the parents are doing well emotionally, but no, they're about duty. It's about how we look. We have to have, we have to look, smiling, and because the people are looking for us to be waving and smiling, we can't let the people down. And you completely ignore the fact that this person is here dying. It's like, when Meghan talks about when she wanted to, committed suicide, she had just spoken to Harry about this. Then they had to get dressed and go to this, event and be smiling in front of cameras. As Harry was saying, they couldn't just say, well, we're not going. And so again, it's that stiff upper lip that this destroys people's hearts, and it literally just destroys you. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. Dory's asking about Pamela. Hope she's good. She's fine. She's busy. Whenever Pamela has the time, I'm sure she'll jump on and say hello. But Pamela is busy with work and life and all that stuff. So at some point, she may pop back in and say hello. But I will pass on. A couple of people have asked and sent, sorry, best wishes to her. So I'll definitely pass that on. I'm sure she will be really happy to hear that you're still concerned about her and asking for her. So yeah. So one day when she's not busy, she'll pop in and say hello. But life is like that sometimes. We got stuff to do. Let's see. Hi Sylvia. Sylvia says, "Pedal. That is why what Shutter Island is still whining. That is why that Shutter Island is still whining about Oprah interview on behalf of the royal family." Yeah. I don't think they'll. Yeah, I mean, they'll forever be whining about that. I think that the root issue with that is that skin color issue. Someone being concerned about Archie's skin color. They will never get over that until, for them, the only thing they'll get over it is for it to be proven that Meghan was lying, or Meghan to apologize and say, no, that's not the truth. The royal family is not racist. That's what the whole thing is about. They will never let that go because they have been called out for racism. Royal family has been called out. At least one member of the royal family, in this case, was called out for being racist. And so, they will never get over that. They're just, they have just been doing the most to make Meghan look like she's lying, or people to discredit everything she's saying because, see, she's lying. We're not racist, and that's what all that is about. It's unreal. Sylvia Fielder. Hi, Sylvia. Sylvia says the unroyal family was concerned about Harry's book. Well, today we learned about issues around the tour that were horrible and put Archie in peril. We must continue to pray for the Sussexes. Very, very, very true. Sylvia, very, very, very true. They thought they only had Harry's book to worry about. Now they're like, oh shoot, we got 12, well, at least 11 more 11 more episodes of a podcast. What else would Meghan be revealing? They are probably having a conniption at this moment. Good, we want them having a conniption. Joseph Bruno says Archetypes can be a platform to quickly refute the nonsense and produce receipts while entertaining and inspiring at the same time. And that's what I love about this. Yes, you are so right. That's what I love about this. It was fun. You know what? It kind of felt like it's just Meghan and Serena just having girl talk, and they just allowed us to listen in on their girl talk. I remember I think it was Tina and Michelle would always say that they're just having a conversation. They're just having to let us in on the conversation, and that's kind of how I felt. It wasn't let me ask you a question interview kind of thing. It's just like two girlfriends hanging out and talking and dropping receipts and new information as they go along. And I love that. I absolutely love that. So hopefully the others are that as well. I don't know how well her and Mariah Carey know each other. I don't know if they've had a relationship before, or if this is just a new meetup, because Meghan says some of the people are new meetups for her here, new friendships. So who knows? But I absolutely love that. Yeah, definitely an opportunity to refute and post receipts that I love. Let's see. Cal Alston. Hi, Cal, our Tucson Screw member. Cal says, I think it's also that they want their stories filtered. I think I think that it's also that they want their stories filtered through the rota. They are super bitter and that Meghan and Harry are speaking for themselves, no filter, as Meghan says. Yeah. And will they forever be bitter? Yep. When you have done what they've done to Harry and Meghan, yeah, that you don't want them speaking, you want them silenced. Hence why they have silenced Princess Diana's interview, which is like Prince Charles did an interview about this a year before. That interview is still available for the world, but somehow Princess Diana's interview a year later, talking about the same issues, is like that makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. It is. But again, they will forever be bitter because they cannot control Harry and Meghan and they cannot stop them from speaking. So may they always be bitter. I absolutely love that for them. So Black Queen says, hopefully Mama Doria would be one of Meg's guests. We need to hear her voice in regards to how she coped and continue to cope with the constant demonization of her beloved daughter. This is such a great point, Black Queen. Whether it's something Mama Doria would want to do, I know she wants to live her quiet life. So I don't know necessarily that that's something she would want to put herself out there and have the press go, trying to invade her privacy. But I would love to hear that too. I think many people would love to hear how she's been able to cope, especially with the nonsense from her ex-husband and his side of the family, how she's been able to just keep her cool and not grab a frying pan and whack him over the head with a frying pan or something. I'm being violent, I think. Maybe just scratch that. Just absolutely scratch that. Maybe not. But it's just like, to have someone do that, to their own child and to your daughter, it's just, ooh, that's just nasty. So yeah, I would absolutely love to know that as well. So hopefully Mama Doria would be interested in doing it. But again, privacy. You don't want to put yourself out there and then all of a sudden having people come and dig into your life and all that mess, that especially the British press. So we'll see, Black Queen, but I'm right there with you on that one. I am right there with you. A lady's like, oh dear, William is incandescent with rage. When is he not incandescent with rage? That is his trait, incandescence. Let's see. Judy says, Meghan has to apologize for nothing. All she has to do is speak the truth and let the haters fight among themselves to figure out what's next. LOL. Absolutely. I mean, what would she be apologizing for? Exactly. But, for them, there's always this thing, about Harry and Meghan apologizing to the royals so the royals will accept them back. And it's like, does Harry and Meghan tell you they want to go back there? You know what I mean? They just, it's really weird. It's absolutely, absolutely weird. So they are just obsessed with this. Cookies and Cream, our awesome moderator, is here. Cookies and Cream says, I love how Meghan debunked the lie by the bowel movement that she did not write to Procter & Gamble about the soap dish commercial. Meghan played the clip from Nickelodeon News. I just loved it. I loved it too. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? You thought I was going to back away from this? Let's just go back to, 1992, 1993, and let's play the original stuff. And I love that she didn't back away from that. It just, I don't know how. I'm telling you, British reporters and writers, it's baffling to me that you can be an adult and do the things that they do. Like, I don't know how grown people could do some of the things that they do and just have no thought. It's like, okay, this is really stupid and it's ignorant and it's, at my age, I mean, this man is like, I don't know, 70, 80, I don't know, he looks really old, or at least much like, older. Maybe that's not like saying somebody's old, but he looks like a senior citizen. Like, I don't know, maybe he's looks like 70 something, maybe 80. And you would think that in that space of your life, you would want to be doing something that lifts people up, that you want to leave a legacy that the younger generation could look up to. I don't know how you could be that age and be doing what he is doing. I don't even get that thinking. So I am glad that Meghan was able to use that and debunk that whole mess, and also the mess about that her friendship with Serena. I love how they just laid it on thick with that one. Yes, we are friends. We've been friends way before Harry. And also, I love Harry's little cameo, by the way. I love that. um, let's see. Uh, it's like scrolling down. Miss Weiss Senior says cookies and creams. I remember seeing Meghan on Nick News. Oh, really? As in that in real time when it was playing back then. That's so cool. That is so cool. So let's see. So again, guys, let me put the link in the paste. Again, the link is in the chat, so please call in and let me know what you're thinking. Let's share with us what you're thinking. So in the meantime, one of the things I love was this on Archwell. A part of the front page, or at least the top page, is definitely I just love. I mean, do you guys just love this photo? I love how it's just naturally her, and it's just with Meghan. And I love the fact that she's like, I don't need to be using, Duchess of Sussex or Princess Meghan or any of those things. I absolutely love her just using Meghan. And apparently people on Twitter have been complaining that she is not using her title. I mean, she could never, when she doesn't use it, they have a problem. When she uses it, they have a problem. And I just love that this is naturally Meghan. I love that there is nothing perfect about the picture. It's just her in a tank top. Her hair is not even all brushed out. You can see the stray hairs on the side. And it's just about her being imperfectly beautiful and her. And her freckles are there. And I just absolutely love this photo. And I love the photo too, because it's so funny when you think in terms of casting for, say, a film or television or whatever. It's like you look at Meghan, you're like, she could literally play any role. I mean, she could be Black, she could be Latina, she could be Italian, she could be American Indian, she could be, I mean, there's so many roles that, you look at that face and you can never tell. And I love that, and it's just such a beautiful, natural photo. And I love that they didn't try to glam it up or anything like that. It's just her hair is hanging and in a tank top, and that's it. And she is like, Meghan is like, I am imperfectly beautiful. And here I am. This is just me. I'm Meghan. Can you imagine Meghan using this photo? Like if she was still a working royal, they would try to glam this up in so many ways. God forbid there's a stray hair there. And this photo is like stray hairs is all over. It's like, you go, Meghan. I love this photo. I absolutely love this photo. And this photo also tells me Meghan is just going to be real and raw and let the chips fall where they may. And yes, I'm sure they're shuddering, shuddering on Shutter Island. I'll take this one away. But if you guys, I'm going to put the link in the show notes. This is on their website. Also, a part of it, if you scroll down, you have a part where you can tell your story. And it says, we're asking you to tell us about your experience with labels, because we know that the more we share our common experiences with these words, the more we chip away at their power. So tell us about the time you were typecast. How did it feel? How did it make you feel? How have you reclaimed, rejected, or rewritten the labels that have been imposed on you? Use the hashtags don't believe the type and hashtag archetypes. And also there are also resources at the bottom, information and support, where they support different organizations. And I just pulled out a couple of them. Again, the link is there, so you can always go on the site and see them. Archetypes affects mental health. They may seem small, but labels impact us in larger ways that take time and support to understand. If an archetype episode brought up the feeling that you're processing, now it's a great time to ask for help. Archetype has partnered with Project Healthy Minds on mental health resource guides. That is excellent, a place to start. And again, they have resource guides, and I love what they did with this whole website, because they're all like the resources guides, and also all these different organizations that they're going to be working with. And also part of that, archetype, heart, and gender equity, labeling someone pigeonholes them and then ripples out to influence norms in communities, workplaces, and societies, including equal treatment of gender. To confront these issues, Archwell has partnered with Equimundo's Global Boyhood Initiative on the guide for promoting gender equity by fostering positive masculinity in boys and men. And so there's also other organizations that they've partnered with that are a part of this. And so on the site, you'll see all the organizations, and it's really, really cool. I love the effort that they did. It's not just a podcast. It's really a way to affect change in this area. And again, this is so Meghan, because, less of people would have just like, oh yeah, we just have a podcast. And Meghan's like, no, we're not just doing a podcast. We're doing something that will really affect change. And I absolutely, absolutely love that. Karen is here. Hi, Karen. Let's get Karen on here. Let's hang on one second, Karen. Let's do this. Hang on one second. Let's take this down. There we go. All right. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Welcome. I'm happy you called in again.
Yes. Well, anytime there's an open mic, you're going to hear me. You're going to hear my voice. Hi, Scotties. How you guys doing? Oh, I was wondering because I was listening to you today and saying, okay, yeah, Petal is coming on. She's going to be talking about this. It went through, and I'm saying, wait a minute. You were talking about what time you got up and everything. I said, okay, I guess she didn't know that this dropped.
Well, if you in the beginning, I talked about I recorded that yesterday. I recorded this morning, the one you got this morning. That was recorded last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was recorded yesterday. That's why it wasn't the live. It was a premiere. And so I said
that was a premiere. This is how much I know about these things.
So when I recorded it last night, obviously this didn't drop. This dropped. Meghan's podcast dropped today. So I was just like, okay, well then we'll just later on today we'll just do a live and we'll chat about this one. So what did you get from the podcast?
Oh, I got so much. This is such a big conversation piece. It's not funny. This is an ongoing long conversation. I'm so excited. I mean to say, I'm not disappointed at all. There's nothing that disappoints me. Meghan is a very thorough person when she does things. She does it to the highest and the best, making sure everyone leaves with, what they're supposed to get from it, and making sure that she gets her points across.
Right.
She's very, very thorough. And, like she operates in a very complete way. If she's going to open up something, she's going to make sure that there is, a sustainable closing for it.
Right.
That it can, it can continue on. I mean to say, from I started, with following her and even watching her, how she operates, within the royal family. There's nothing that she does that she doesn't make sure that it's left sustainable.
Right.
where it can sustain, itself. Like all the projects that she's worked on, like she makes sure that they can, carry themselves. They can help themselves. They can carry themselves.
Right.
Um, and this is no different. So
Right.
those when I look forward to hearing from her, and seeing her, because I know, there's a lot of growth that, anyone that, you know um any message she put out there,
Mm.
that anyone can get from it,
Right.
and be able to move forward with their life and to grow, um, you know, um, in their future, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, she's just a wonderful teacher,
Right.
and
Yeah.
a wonderful, um, innovator and inspirationalist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
just amazing, and there's so much to learn from. I like you were talking about, the way she basically broke down, um, each, thing that she touched on today,
Mm-hmm.
which even pulling apart all the articles and all the things that were said about her,
Mm-hmm.
um, piece by piece. She is so cheeky. I just love it. I love the way she approaches things. And I mean to say, even when I'm listening to the people talking about her and stuff, I do the same thing. I just, I find my fun and my, um, and you know, um, the humility in it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, I usually have a good laugh, at it and at them, right? So to hear her with that today, it's just refreshing, and I'm just glad that she's seeing it that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like the point that she made with Serena, when she was talking about, um, they were saying that Harry's girl is from Compton, and then she
Yeah.
she asked Harry, she says, "Are you dating Serena?"
I know that was funny.
Was so funny. I cracked up with laughter. That is so funny. And I keep asking, I said, so what is wrong with Compton? It's like, so what if she's from Compton? Look at where she is now. And,
Right.
then to find Serena's from Compton. And I'm saying, you guys are talking about Compton. This is just showing how ignorant they are, right?
Right.
And,
Yeah.
they were just trying to find something, to bring her down with that would stick. And you know, um, I guess maybe they heard something about Compton before in their head, so they just, connect California and Compton, because maybe that's the area that they know that is supposed to be some kind of a, negative area. So they decide to, try to pin that without even, doing their research or anything. But I don't think they wanted to do research. They just wanted to, spread whatever falseness that they can spread, and,
Right.
to their listeners, and just hope that it sticks, that they can, just start some kind of narrative, and talking point
Right.
negatively.
Yeah. Can I
So,
ask you a question? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
mhm.
Is there anything that Serena said that stuck out to you or that impacted you in any way?
Something that's like the whole conversation did. One of
Mm-hmm.
the things that really strike me is when Megan brought up the interview that she did when she started, and they asked her, what would she like to be, or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And she mentioned that she hope everyone is like her,
Right.
right? Something to that effect. So that means she already had the intuition that she knew that she would be great,
Yes.
you know? And, for a young person to think like that, it just show how positive it shows they're bringing up, and
Mm-hmm.
how strong and how positive they are, and how, um, the kind of future they were already wanting for themselves.
Right.
So they basically, she basically put whatever negative she know was going to come to her behind her, right, beneath her feet, and rise above that.
Right.
And knew that she was, going to be, she's going to be great. Or even if she didn't know she was going to be great, is how she felt at that time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And she felt that way at that time. She felt like she was a princess. She felt like a queen. She felt like a great, right? And and she put that out there. She would like everyone to be like her. And I know at that time yes, you are a tennis player and stuff like that, and she felt good within herself. She didn't know how far it was going to go, but she felt that good within herself, that she's comfortable with herself where she was at.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, to make that statement. So
Yeah.
I really, that would go a far way for a lot of people, especially a lot of young boys and girls,
Yeah.
to start thinking about yourself like that.
Yeah. Well,
So
thank
it's
you so much. Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your 2 cents. Thank you so much, once, for not leaving me hanging, and 2.
No, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. You can mute. You can mute on me and continue with it, and I will, chime in my little 2 cents, because
Yeah.
we can have a conversation, because there's so much to talk about, because the whole thing was really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'll just you can continue.
So what we'll do, like, we'll see how many other people calling in. Feel free to look, but what you can do is actually feel free to call back in. If we don't have a lot of people calling in, but I hope more calling so we can get more people.
Well, I'm hoping so
as well.
Yes.
But feel free to call back and we can continue.
Not a problem, sweetie. You take care.
All right, thank you, Karen. I love it. Let's see. I had just posted Joseph. Where's Joseph? Joseph, where are you? Joseph talking about the production quality of the podcast. It is top notch. It is. I love the fact how they use the archival footage, or at least old footage, say, of the tennis. I love how, when they were talking about, how people would call whenever Serena, they would, whenever there's like an episode in the court or whatever, and disagreement or whatever in the court, they'd basically look at her and label her like what would they call it, hysterical or emotional, whatever they were calling her. Yet you see, John McEnroe especially going off on the court, and I mean he was just, it got to a point where he's just like, the boorish behavior was just so bad, that it was just like, dude, and nobody has ever labeled him that way. Nobody has labeled him that way, no matter how boorish his behavior was. And so just to see the double standard of how they label women and how they label men, it was, I love that. I love the fact that they talked about that. But the production quality was amazing, and they have a lot of producers working with them. So, and again, it's so funny as I heard at the end, they were going through the credits, and there were so many people that were a part of the production. And again, it brings to the forefront just this whole bullying allegation from Kensington Palace, where they have this narrative in the UK about Meghan working with people and collaborating with people. And here is this team of people, and a lot of them were on social media today, really excited about the show, and announcing the show as it dropped. And so many of them were so excited about it. And again, it really shows how Meghan can collaborate, how she's been able to collaborate her whole life with people and not have an issue. And then, you get to the lies of like, I can't get over the lies of Shutter Island, especially royal reporters and the royal households. And but it was just amazing going, listening to them go through the credits and seeing like, wow, these are all, so many people were able to come together and put together this amazing podcast. So kudos to them for doing that, and kudos for collaboration. Yeah. Black Queen says, glad Meghan didn't tack that abominable M to her name. Yeah, I think she has dropped that. I think she has absolutely dropped that. I'm so happy that, don't be using that last name at all. It does nothing for her. It just give those others clout. Completely just drop it. I love that she does. It's just Meghan. Joan says, great podcast from Meghan. Absolutely great. Yeah. Ocean Flower says, don't forget the dog, 2 broken legs for me. Someone wanted to hurt baby Archie. Yeah, nobody ever explained that, what happened to that dog. And I'm just like, guy with those 2 broken legs. I mean, we've talked about that on this podcast before, and it's just the weirdest, like, how does a dog get 2 broken legs? Maybe there are a lot of ways. I mean, I don't have a dog, and so maybe there, dog owners could tell how they how a dog could get 2 broken legs like that. But yeah, that is just, there's some weird stuff that has gone on there. And I'm just happy that the Sussexes are out of there, and in a safe, or at least a safer place. It just, yeah, very, very, very weird. Church Nelly, hey, Church Nelly says, I can't believe the trolls are lying that Meghan blamed the palace. She never mentioned that on the royal family. Oh, that's just guilty conscience right there. That is just, what is that? Yeah, that's just like total guilty conscience. They know who is to blame for that. It's kind of like Meghan doesn't have to blame anyone. She does not have to point fingers. But when she says something, it's like, yeah, we know where to go looking. So I love that. I love that she just says what she says, and she doesn't have to point fingers on anybody. So yeah, but it's the same thing what they do even with Oprah Winfrey interview. They trash the family. And it's like, well, exactly how did they trash the family? Speaking about what happened to you isn't trashing someone. It's literally just speaking about your experience. And so for some reason, that section of Shutter Island can't handle or refuse to handle when someone speak the truth about their behavior. So yeah. Sarah is talking to Faith. Sorry about that. Watching Mumbles with the First Lady a while back, and they asked the question. It really annoyed me what she was saying. What language is that? Okay, so I'm sorry. Sarah T, I just jumped into your conversation. I have no idea what you're talking about, so maybe I should not have been nosy. Carry on with Faith. Carry on. Let's see. Leslie Ann Hector. Oh, wow. That sounds like such a Trinidad and Tobago name. Wow. I love that. Leslie Ann Hector. Leslie Ann says, if any British person read this, please, you guys, write into these talk shows and ask them to stop with the abuse, please. Because it's not just the media, the talk shows too. Well, the talk shows are part of the media. So that's, part of the British press. So they're all, it's one cesspool, one big cesspool. That's what they are. So yeah, Will it cause them to stop? I don't know. I know one of the things that has been, causing them to take a pause a little bit is the pushback and posting receipts after receipts after receipts. So all of a sudden, especially when we've been talking the episode earlier today, we've been talking about Kate and Williams, 4 homes, and the thing that has caused them to pause their nonsense narrative about, the Cambridges are downsizing, is because it's been plastered over social media, the lies, because they have 4 homes, and now they have to backtrack because they look stupid because receipts are there all over the place. And I think it's one of those things, we definitely try writing, definitely do. But again, there is $1 billion business. Hating Meghan Markle is $1 billion business. A lot of people are feeding their families by hating on Meghan. So unless you can dismantle that and make it no longer profitable for them, that's when this is going to stop. So, hopefully by us continuing to push back on their nasty narrative, more and more people would see the truth and stop buying and stop clicking on their articles. So yeah, but definitely, hey, there's nothing wrong in writing to them, all areas, whatever area you choose to fighting, definitely. And wherever you are, Leslie Ann, feel free to write to them as well. Let them know what they look like outside of the UK. I think a lot of times in the UK, they just basically, they navel gaze. They don't see anything outside of their navel. They basically look at, what's going on in the UK, and for them, it's the world. And it's like, no, there's actually a big world outside of the UK, but a lot of them they can't, for some reason, they can't imagine there's a bigger world outside of the UK. So yeah. So maybe by you, wherever you are, Leslie Ann, writing them to let them know that what they look like from the outside can give them pause as well. So please go ahead and do that. Let's see, moving on. As I scroll down. Lorna Williams. Hi, Lorna. Lorna says, to any squaddies not on Spotify, for the Meghan podcast, they are offering 3 months free. Oh, and $90.99 after that. This may be a CA price, but California price, I guess. Check with Spotify in your country. So that's great for those of you who have not been able to listen to it. And definitely join Spotify for free. And so you can listen to it. Take advantage of the 3 months. That would be awesome. So, and again, Meghan has 12 episodes, so there you can get those episodes in that 3 months. So that, actually, no, it'll go beyond. Actually, you should be able to get it in there. So so awesome. Thank you so much, Lorna. So please check out Spotify in your country and see if they have that. So Cynthia Ashton. Cynthia says, hi, Petal. I like Miss Karen. I like how Miss Karen says that Meghan is a good teacher. I agree, because she literally pulls every experience, good or bad, and make it a teachable moment. While Meghan learns, she teaches. Oh, I love this point so much, and you're so right. Karen was very accurate on that as well. Absolutely agree with that. I love that. While Meghan learns, she teaches, and I love that. Another point, what I love, what Serena talked about was the girls raising their hands. Like when you're young, like when she was 11, she was like, I want people to follow, to imitate me. And, and girls, like when they are that young, they'll be raising their hands and but slowly but surely, when people start calling them names or start mocking them for being smart, whatever, slowly but surely, those hands aren't so ready to jump up. Because why? A lot of times we want to fit in. We want to, fit in with our group. And if the group are not, very much into, being the one to raise their hands and answer the question in class, girls might be pressured to not, or to downplay their intelligence. And so by the time they get to college, they might not be, again, and it's so funny because I just taught a summer program a minute ago, and I saw both sides of that. I saw both sides of some kids who I literally had to pull things out of. And when I pulled the things out of, they have so much to share. And I mean, there's one girl who wrote this poetry that was amazing. And she's the quietest person ever. And you have to pull all that. And then the moment you pull and you realize, yes, she is so deep. And it's amazing. And then on the other hand, I had one who was the absolute joy. I mean, the moment I ask a question, her hands are up there. And she has not, and I guess she has that confidence. She's, they're, again, early teens. And so she had that confidence where her hands are up anything I ask. She's usually the first one. Miss Meadow, can I share? And it's just like, yes, absolutely. And I just pray that stays. I pray that she's able to fight off those, negative things coming at her that would make her to not put her hands up. And so it's wild to just see both ends, but both kids were so amazing, But I again think back when they said that about girls, being afraid to raise their hands. And I'm like, wow. If I didn't pull stuff out of this child, who would have thought she was so deep? And it's just like, wow. So it is, I'm telling you, we have to really protect our young girls and really build them up so that they will absolutely not, they will not like go into a shell and not be the ones to be like, nope, I know the answer and I'm fine. So yeah. Ray Raquel says, not sure why they make it seem like the Compton is bad. I drove through Compton years ago and it looked like a nice neighborhood. I don't know why the negativity. And yeah, I mean, people would try to find anything, anything what they deem is negative, but it's not the flex they think it is. You know what I mean? And it's just like they were trying to use. It's kind of, I look at it the way how they're using the word woke, and they have basically demonized the word. Now it's every bad thing. The majority of the people who attack people as woke have no concept what that word even means. But they use it in such a negative way. And I think it's the same thing they were trying to do with Compton. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with Compton, And so, but they use it in a way to paint a negative picture. And it's the same thing they're doing with the word woke, which is the word woke is not negative at all. So yeah, they're basically monstering the word. It is what they're doing. Let's see. Oral. Hi, Oral. Oral says, in the Caribbean, where I was born and raised. Growing up, things was kids should be seen and heard. So glad in times where everyone have a voice. Growing up, was kids should be seen and heard. So glad we in times where everyone have a voice. Do you mean that kids, it's so weird that yours were like that kids should be seen and heard. A lot of mine was kids should be seen and not heard. And so I think that came from the British culture. I think that came down from you need to stop talking. And one of the things that I got in school a lot was, and maybe y'all could tell, they used to, Petal is really nice, but she talks too much. So I got to a place, and I think that's where it started becoming where I was afraid. I was afraid to speak. And I got to a place where I was so shy, I couldn't look someone in the eye and have a conversation. I had to learn how to do that. And that's coming from where I started off, where, we called it primary school back then, in the Caribbean, where I was just so outgoing and talkative to where I was beaten down so much where by the time I moved to the US, I could not look someone in the eye and have a conversation. and literally be walking in the streets of New York, and people, I was living in Long Island by then, but people would be like, "Miss, lift your head up, Miss, lift your head up." I would know, it was so humiliating. And so, yeah, so that's why it's wild. I got the reverse of that. So, yeah. Oh, so okay. So Oral is correcting. It's like kids should be seen and not heard. That's the right way. Sorry, missed the word. Yeah, that's what I got too. I got the kids should be seen and not heard. So yeah. And that's where I got the negative. You talk too much. Stop talking. Stop talking, until I literally stopped talking. So Shield says, now Compton is overrun by the rich. The locals are being run out and can't afford it. Yoy. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. Unreal. So again, if you want to call in and share your thoughts about what happened. Oh, actually, and let's move on. I think I have a couple more things I can talk about. Let's see. One of the organizations that Meghan has been working with, National Women Law Center, they also tweeted about it. It's like, everyday women are typecast by words we didn't choose. And for too long, these labels have shaped narratives about who we are and what we can do. Our friends at Archwell Foundation have a new podcast, Archetypes, to write new narratives. Take a listen. And I love that. I love that her association with the Women's Law Center, is to a place where, they're like, our friends. I absolutely love that. I love that they're claiming their friendship, and that is really awesome. Other people who have been tweeting about this is the Gina Davis Institute in media. That's part of the one of the people that Archwell lists, I guess, as people either they're supporting or they're partnering with. So Gina Davis, who is an actress, this is her, I guess she started this foundation, but they tweeted about the archetypes, and I love this. It says the Institute is the only global research-based organization working collaboratively with the entertainment industry to create a gender balance, foster inclusion, and reduce negative stereotyping in family entertainment media. And so they tweeted out about this. So I love, again, it's not just a podcast. They have Archwell has partnered with these different organizations. Again, it's about creating change and not just this podcast. And I love Spotify has been doing the most today. They have been tweeting out about the podcast, like, she's here, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex brings a new podcast. Welcome to Archetypes. And we don't have to keep you like, where is Archetypes? At least me, anyway. But they have been doing the most today, and I love it. I love it. I love that outfit too. That Meghan, she just looks so comfy and relaxed. I'm assuming that outfit is probably sold out. I don't know. I hadn't looked. So, it's probably doing really well. But I love it. I love such a cool, earthy tone, Meghan. I just absolutely love it. And some of Meghan's friends, Janina tweeted, actually, this was on her stories on Instagram. She tweeted, or at least posted about it. Abigail Spencer, who's Meghan's friend. I think Abigail and Meghan, I think those are two that were born the same day. They are like sisters. And Abigail, I think it's Abigail. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong as to which one of her friends this is. But if I'm wrong, let me know. But Abigail is one of Meghan's BFFs. And so she tweeted, it's like, don't believe the time, Archetypes. It's such an honor to witness my dear friends' heart song and vision come to fruition, continuing to break barriers and pave the way for all women everywhere. Go deeper. Listen to Meghan and Serena in episode one on Archetypes, only on Spotify. Hashtag don't believe the type. Love you, Meg. I love it. I love her friends just supporting it. Of course, Daniel. Daniel is always there supporting. I am so excited for you all to hear this. Finally, an opportunity for the world to hear who I've known for the past 10 plus years. An opportunity to discover and learn about the labels that have held women back through poignant and thoughtful discussion from historians to close friends at Serena Williams. So proud of you, Em. Listen in link in my bio. Don't believe the type at Spotify. I just love that. I just absolutely love that. And of course, our girl Serena. She also posted about it on her Instagram. I'm just gonna take that out of there so you can read it. There we go. Yeah. I absolutely love. Serena says, I love talking about so many important topics with my dear friend Meghan as her first guest on Archetypes for Spotify. It's out now and worth listening and worth the listen, especially if you're ambitious. And I love Junior. And oh my goodness, that story about Serena talking about when Junior broke her wrist and then having to go out the next day with little to no sleep and actually won her match. And and then Meghan was talking about, after that, Meghan talked about the fire. But I just love her friendship with Meghan and little Junior, who is, I'm telling you, Junior is like, she is grown. That little girl has just grown. It's amazing. And she's such a daddy's girl, too. I mean, Alexis Sr. is always, that's like his mini-me, I love it. I love how both parents just are so hands-on with her. So kudos to little mini-me. And and Serena also had this on her stories. Love sitting down to be the first guest on Meghan's new podcast, Archetypes. Listen now, only on Spotify. I absolutely love it. Yeah. So, but anyway, I just, that's, yeah. So I just, again, I'm, hopefully, the next few minutes, I would love to hear more, if anyone else want to jump on or, let's see in the chat. Who else is in the chat? Let's see. Vetty. Hi, Vetty. I haven't heard from you, Vetty. Vetty says, I don't know how you guys would have handled the way people of color were treated. People from the Black Commonwealth were invited to build Black Britain after the Second World War and was received with hostility. Yeah, the Windrush generation. It's oof. I didn't even see the whole documentary, but actually I didn't see the longer one, but I was watching a documentary recently and just about what men and women coming into the UK face. They came in with such great vision and with such great hope about better life, work, and all of that stuff, and then they were greeted, they didn't want them there. They literally did not want them there. And so it just, and again, you see the same behavior today. Not much has changed, hence a lot of the deportations, and hence a lot of those people who came in and, if they didn't have paperwork, they were promised something. And then now they're like, oh, well, we don't have any paperwork for you, so you're not a citizen. We're deporting you. And it's just, it's unreal what is happening there. And which again made me so upset when Kate and William went off to the Caribbean, and knowing that is there, never having dealt with or even, other than, thank you for the work that you've done, or some nonsense like that he says, they never really dealt with it. They never really advocated for the men and women who came there to build and help build the UK. So it's just, it's happening right now. Let's see a couple more. Lorna says, Betty, my parents are Jamaican Windrush. They went to the UK. I was born in the UK. Conditions were awful. And I am so sorry you experienced that, Lorna. But yeah, that's what that's what I'm seeing. That's, again, I didn't know about the Windrush generation until, what, a year ago, a couple years ago, that I'm started learning about what happened there. And so yeah, it's horrendous, and you hear these stories a lot. And one of the people I always use, Nadine White, she her parents, I think, were also from the Windrush generation, and so she talks about that as well. So it just And actually, Nadine did a documentary, which I have not gotten a chance to look at it. I think it's called Barrel Babies or something. In that, it refers to, those barrels that they would send home to kids. And I remember, my parents weren't in the UK, but I remember barrels. I remember sending, books and all that stuff in barrels. And I think the documentary is called Barrel Baby or something like that. So yeah. Let's see. Cookies and Tashmax saying cookies are green. Their actions are exposing how awful they are to Harry, Meghan, and the children. Yeah. No wonder they are terrified. No wonder they are terrified. So as I go up to the chat, let's see if anybody else has more stuff. Again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes in the chat one more time. If you want to call in, please do before we say goodnight. But thank you guys so much who have called in and chatting about is anybody any one have any any nuggets from what Serena talked about the double standard, about her her transitioning, I guess, from tennis, about what even when Olympia fell down, anything about the way she felt. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that as well, or just about their her relationship with Meghan. Here's Gwendolyn saying, beautiful picture of Meghan and Serena. I know, they are just, I love their friendship, and I love that they just let the world see that, yeah, we are really great friends. I love to know what you guys think about Harry doing his little cameo coming in, and just like, and I love how Meghan's like, oh, she calls him my love at the end. I love how he makes a little cameos into her things. Compton Caligal says the tabloid can't spread no more lies about Tyler Perry and Serena Williams' relationship with Meghan. No, they definitely can't. But they'll try though. They'll try to do something, because again, they have to protect their lie. They have to, because then they look stupid, and so they will do whatever it is to protect their lies. And so yeah, and that's why they hate the fact that Meghan can speak for herself now. Let's see. Let us see. A couple more. Oh, Karen is calling back. So let's get a couple. Let's look at a couple more, and then we'll hear from Karen, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see. Sarah T says, she's talking to Gwendolyn. Daniel, let's see. And the racism can start early. A person of color will soon learn there are ignorant, hateful people in this world who think they are superior. Unfortunately, that is the case. Absolutely, unfortunately, that is the case. Let's see. A couple more. Be right there with you, Karen. Cookies and creams. Oh, she's talking to Oral says, what's so sad is that no one in the British press reported that fire. None of the unroyals said anything. They don't even recognize the Sussex children unless it's for PR. And that is the thing. I mean, I'm sure that they know, but again, reporting that will make the royals look not good. They wouldn't put them in a good light. But it's just weird that nobody said a word. And again, the British press hiding stuff. You cannot tell me they didn't know, or at least somebody didn't know. I remember even there, I think it was in coming to the end of the tour, there was like somebody was trying to break into wherever Harry and Meghan were staying or something like that. Someone posted that. I mean, I hadn't seen any news article about it, so I don't know if it's 100% true. But they had said like somebody, I think it was either a photographer or something, which was trying to get into wherever Harry and Meghan were staying. So it's just, you can't tell me that somebody in the British press didn't know and about this. And I think, I would assume that's why you're not hearing, people questioning it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow they'll start twisting it in whatever way they want to twist it. But yeah, it's just unreal. I'm just glad our faves are out of there. So Karen is back. Hey, Karen.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi. It's been such a long time since I last spoke
I know,
to
it's
Karen.
always
It's
that,
been
isn't it?
It's been absolute years.
Well, at least you guys know I was not one of those kids who was afraid to put my hand up.
I know, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I was not one of those kids who were afraid to put my hand up in class. I was, and I mean to say, yeah, I love school. I used to, really enjoy school. The funny thing.
Have you seen that though? Have you noticed? I mean, I don't know if you are around kids at all where you've seen the, a child start out really like, hands up, they are out front. And then you can see them slowly sort of withdrawing into themselves. I mean, have you noticed any situations like that or?
Yeah. And the thing is that I'm the type of person who's like right up on it right away. Because I don't like people feeling that way. I don't care whether you're a small child or an adult. I don't like people feeling that way because first of all, it makes me sad, and then it tells me, that there's something, definitely wrong. Right. And I always believe in people's expression. Like, you must be able to express yourself and be free. The thing is that a lot of that stuff was very new to me, because I can say I grew up in a privileged way where I didn't have to worry about stuff like that. It wasn't privilege about having money or anything like that. It was privilege in terms of we were brought up in a way that we were able to be, like, expressive.
Right.
And not to feel that, we're not, like, paid attention to or can't, and can't say things.
Right.
Because I remember, giving an example on that. I remember one time I was growing up in school, and, at home, the teachers were able to, to use that white cane and beat you and stuff like that, right?
Mm.
And I remember my mom was the type of person that if someone comes, especially adults, come and they complain on you, or even the teacher send a note home and to complain or whatever it is, she always wanted to know from us, the kids, right? she always wanted, she never, take the other person's belief, the other person right away. She take it into consideration, but she would always want to hear from the kids, because she always said big people lie on little kids, right? She always had that thing that people and, big people lie on kids, depending, I'm not saying all big people, but she has had that experience where, because the kids know, the adult know that, that kid can get in trouble when they go home or whatever it is, because, maybe for some reason they don't want them to do something. The kid might, want to do something, and they don't want them to do something. And instead of, figuring out and working with the kid where the kid is at, okay, they spin the story in a whole different way, and know that that kid is going to get, trouble when they get home. So the situation go from, where it was a simple situation to a whole big thing when they're relaying that information. And then the kid don't get a chance to explain themselves, right? Depending on the parent or whoever is listening to that. And then the kid is getting a beating for something that wasn't even really, the way it was relayed, right? So I grew up with that way. She always, make sure that, we, have our say, and we are able to feel free to come to her, or, go to her uncles or whoever it is, and, and be able to speak. So I didn't really experience that, but, I see other people in that situation, and seeing that, and you not coming from there, it was like really confusing, right? Like, why is it that, this person is afraid to talk, and it bothers you when someone is like that, and then you want to know what's going on, what's going on with that person, and you want to be in there to help that person. And you kind of focus in on that quickly, because it's different from what you know, right? So you tend to zoom in on it, and you pick up on it right away, and you find yourself over there and want to to help that person, or even you try to interact by saying something or doing something to try to reach that person wherever they are, to get them to open up and stuff like that. So I find myself in those kind of situations. And when it comes to kids, I am very, like, with my son. He is a social butterfly. He's not shy at all, and I wanted him to grow up that way. So I make sure that I put that in him. And I have people, when they see us out together and stuff, like, they can't believe how young he is, and he can like have constructive conversation with with adults, and even some adults feel good about that, because they enjoy that they can have a like a nice conversation with a kid, whether they're trying to teach them or whatever it is, and they have that nice simple conversation with them. So so it's good to bring your kids up that way, and I hope people try to encourage that. I know what happens in the school and stuff like that, because I had to fight for my son. Actually, in school, I had to fight for my son. It reached to a point where I had to write a letter to the trustee and tell them not to have the vice principal near my son. Okay, that is how serious it is. I don't want her to have nothing to do with my son. Find somebody else to deal with him, but not her, because of what she was doing to him, right? And putting him down, and then by the time he's to go to the office and know that he's going to be reaching with her, his demeanor changed right away. Right? And it's a whole different ball game. And then when I look into it and I study it and everything, and see what was happening, right? And this is something that some parents should look into, because not everything is the kid's fault in school. It's not. And parents need to pay attention to that. There's a lot of people, a lot of educators and stuff. There are human beings too, and a lot of times they are bringing in whatever is going on in their home, whatever situation, and bringing it into the school to those kids.
Right.
So, people have to pay attention to, to these things and make sure, listen to your kid, speak to them as a friend, as a parent, and everything, and get to the bottom of whatever it is.
Right.
Okay, because adults bring this stuff onto them, and it's not always their situation.
Wow.
So, it should be, you should pay attention to that, because I've experienced it, I've gone through it, and I had to be out there fighting for my son, fighting for my kids. I had to be out there doing that.
Wow.
Okay, so.
Thank you so much. That is such great advice and great way to close. Thank you so much. No, it's so true. It's like you have to advocate for your kids, and definitely not just take someone's work for you. Definitely have to be there.
Yeah, and I know
that's why it's so important to make sure that
one of the things that you mentioned before, and other people were saying that kids must be seen and not heard. The one that I know of is that it's kids. It's you can hear but not hear, right? Where it comes to kids, because a lot of times there's conversations that's going on around kids where with adults, where the kids should not get involved in it. Okay, the kids should not get involved in that conversation. First of all, the kids shouldn't be around that conversation. But there's not a lot of times when there's times when the kids are around that conversation, and they they're there, and you hear or not hear, meaning, okay, there's a conversation going on, but it's not a conversation for you to be involved in, so please do not sanction. You know what I mean? Don't get involved in it. Don't say anything, or don't even take it from there to anywhere else. So
is that like, that's a situation where you basically not have the child in the room or something, so that way they don't,
exactly.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like, that would be like, you're like telling a child, okay, don't think about elephant, but then that's all the child could think about. So
it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, because I see people on their phone, and they're pushing a stroller, or they have a kid walking beside them, and they're carrying on a conversation. They're not even paying attention to the kid. They're carrying on a conversation that the kid should not even,
be part of.
Part of, or be hearing. You know what I'm saying? But they're on the phone with whoever they're with, and they're holding the kid hand and walking there. And the poor kid, don't just trying to mind their own business, but they can hear what's going on. And it's a conversation that shouldn't be happening while you're there with a kid. So that was one of the things that I think. The other thing with kids should be seen and not heard. That part for us was a part where we were taught not to be loud. Right? That's where that part came in for us. It's not that we seen and not heard, because if we have something to say, they want to hear it from us. But the part where you're being, you're being loud and boisterous, and they're trying to teach you to speak in a more, to like communicate and to be even, playful with your friends or whatever it is. If you're there sitting with somebody, you'll be speaking in a tone that's not the whole world is hearing you. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
That's what I grew up with and understood with that.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. That is, definitely give it a different shade. So thank you so much, Karen. Next time we do this, I'm sure you'll call in.
Have a good night, buddy.
Thank you. As always, thank you.
Yeah, but the whole thing was awesome today. And Serena said she did say a lot of things, and I know you wanted to talk about how she was treated and stuff like that. And I mean to say it's sad that people have to go through those kind of things, and look at what she has had to overcome just to be part of that of that group. And it's something that even goes on today. I mean to say, we get it all the time. We get it into the workplaces, we get it into into the schools, we get it um, when we go to different functions. Look at Meghan's situation, because she's biracial, she's Black. They figure, well, okay, the royal family is not a place for her. Like, I mean to say, who makes you royal?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that in another episode. So we can continue this conversation forever. We'll get to that one in another episode. So you call in the next episode and we'll talk about that. So
have a good night. Take care,
Karen.
Bye.
Bye. I mean, we could talk about this stuff forever. It's so nuanced, and there's so many parts, and I love it. I love the different parts to this conversation that we can and again, we have 12 weeks of this, so we're going to be talking about this forever. I'm just so happy that Meghan has now joined the podcast community, so we can be talking about whatever it is they are talking about, and I just think it's fantastic. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, just to go through it. I know you guys have probably spent the entire day doing podcast stuff, so I appreciate you just coming and hanging out with me tonight. Again, if you have not, please subscribe if you like our content. Even if you don't like our content and you listen a lot, subscribe, like our posts. Definitely share it so that we can build a larger community. Join. You can join our channel, the 2 Cents Crew, where you support our channel on a monthly basis. And I appreciate all of you who have joined our channel so far. Thank you all so much. There are other ways you can support us. We have PayPal, Cash App. I appreciate all of you so much who have been doing that. Again, no obligation at all, but I am so grateful for all of you who have done it and are doing it. Again, thank you to our incredible moderators, Cookies and Cream, Church Nelly, Lydia Washington, Karen M. Did I say Joyce? I'm not sure if I saw Joyce. Not sure. But anyway, if you're here, Joyce, thank you so much as well. And I hope I didn't miss anyone. But thank you all so much for indulging me in talking about Meghan. And again, we'll be talking about this forever for the next 12 weeks at least. So thank you guys so much. I love you all. And we are just going to bring back in some interspace as we end this. And hopefully more of you, next time we do this, more of you would call in. I appreciate you. Ray Raquel, Karen, who calls in and just make sure that I'm not hanging by myself, waiting for someone to call in. I appreciate you, Karen. Thank you so much for just coming in and sharing your wisdom with us. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone. See you. Love you. Bye.